Maybe let me start with the audience. We invited you to speak to a young audience, vibrant audience, young people who are entrepreneurs, young change makers. They are looking into figuring out how to go about it. So, having that experience that you've had with them, what has been your impression on them? How do you feel them? What has been their receptivity, the audience, while you are, speaking?
It would almost bring me to tears. What a question to start with, quite frankly, because I could feel the hunger, I could feel the desire to want to do big things, even for those that walked out to me to ask me questions. I could feel, the true commitment to want to do things with a difference and change even our own country. I could feel the commitment to continuous learning. And I think one of the things that really caught my ear and my eye is when the MC, the girl that was speaking at the very beginning, said that, there are all these old people leading and taking almost stealing our thunder and stealing our opportunities and taking credit for the work that we do. And that really got me thinking, because I remember feeling like that. I remember feeling like that when I was young, when I did all the work and people, walked away with the credit. But my advice to the young person is don't continue, don't stop doing the good thing. No one can ever cover a bright light, however little it is. And people will always see the source of the light,
Wow.
despite the fact that somebody else will carry the light.
Wow. Wow. People always see the source of the light,
People always
even despite when there's someone else running and they're basking in the light. Awesome. Look at your track record, and it's massive, massive in terms of even the things you've done in banking, fintech. You are a techpreneur. You've had a lot of work in terms of sustainability. Now, my question would be, what has been the biggest lesson that failure has taught you, even especially when it comes to sustainability?
Let's start with the fact that failure has taught me humility, great humility in the face and presence of all persons, and also has taught me resilience and tenacity in the worst of adversities. But in terms of sustainability, what failure has really taught me are the lessons that I shared. Number one, don't go out to compete, don't go out to impress, go out to do well, but start with doing good. What does that mean? That means before you show up to want to impress, remember solving for a real problem counts more, and being so immersed in finding the right, accessible, sustainable solutions is where we should always start. What sustainability has also taught me, because when we talk about sustainability, we talk about creating a better planet, a healthier planet in all ways. It could be from an environmental perspective, it could be from a social perspective, but it could also as well be from an economic development perspective. So I have chose to actually spend a lot more time in the past in economic development, but soon very much realized after having failed that those brands and persons that succeed, even looking at the people around me who are successful, they invest a great deal, even at personal level, in social investment, whether it's even helping build a church, whether it's even coming back to, give back to community, whether it's giving their time. And they continue to soar and soar and soar. And that always follows. So, we fail because we lead with the wrong things. But if we lead and start with sustainability, with the planet, with shared prosperity, with caring for each other and social investments, with investments in the environment, and knowing that we are not privy to this planet by ourselves. There are generations that will follow us. They're our children. I have children. My children, their children. I want them to have a great environment, whether it's politically, socially, environmentally, as well as economically. So I am duty bound. That's what failure has taught me.
Wow.
Yeah. Focus on the right things.
Wow. Awesome. I know you could talk a lot about that. Amazing. I think there's something very important that you said that I want to move to when you are doing your session. And you said, if you don't work for any organization, you are working for who you are solving problems for. I loved it. I heard it and said, I love that statement. But I would want you to speak more on that, expound more on that. What do you mean by that particular statement? What is the extent of that particular statement?
Okay, let me take you a couple of steps back and years back into my life.
Mhm.
Those days when I felt that I was working and people were running away with my thunder and running away with my credit, it's because I was so focused on credit. But when you start focusing on solving the problem and doing it extremely well, focusing on the job, those things don't matter. The world comes looking for you. I can say 90% of my opportunities I have been headhunted. 90% of my opportunities, including my best clients today, have been 100% referrals.
So you mean this changed the moment you change your mindset from seeking credit to doing something well and not considering now the credit?
Yes, and not feeling that I am losing to the organization or losing to people.
Awesome.
And therefore, even my whole mindset of, am I working for the organization? Yes, I am. But ultimately, who am I really working for? For the person I'm solving the problem for. So even today, in my own organization that I founded, Serrari Group, when we look at the products we are creating, and especially for online learning content, and when we have the editorial reviews, I always go back and ask the content team, but if you are the student, would you be happy a student paying for school fees and then going to find substandard learning, going through 4 years of university education, graduating with substandard education, and 4 years a parent has paid for university education, and they've come out with a paper saying you're a graduate in computer science, but you cannot even do the basic, delivery that is required of a computer science graduate. And then you have somebody else who possibly went to Jomo Kenyatta University, or who went to a great institution like ZTech, or who went to an institution like the University of Nairobi, or who even may have gone to the very famous Kimat that is outputting quite a bit of tech resources today. And you're wondering, why am I not getting this job? And it's purely because the curriculum design, the content, the delivery was substandard. So I always tell my people as we're designing the online learning content, please think, if this was your child, if this was you, how would you want to position yourself, and what sort of information and learning and quality education would you want them to access? So put your best foot forward. Remember who we are working for. We are working for the learner, we are working for that parent. That's who we are working for. And most importantly, we are working for the disenfranchised person who doesn't have access to expensive quality education, whether it is in a private university locally or globally.
Wow. I like that the fact that the solutions are centered around, I'm not working for, when you're working somewhere, that's a very impressive understanding. When you're working somewhere, you're not just working for that particular organization, you're working for the people that they are solving problems for. And that's really important understanding that I'm picking from you. That even as you're working somewhere or you're working in a particular organization, the person that is really mattering in that particular aspect is the person you're solving problems for. And I love the fact that you're saying you need to bring yourself even to personalize the solution. What if this person is your child? What would you want for them? And that's
Joe,
really
let me
impressive.
tell you, it's so powerful because the passion it infuses in you, and the energy, to even put more hours to do the right thing, to be more creative is incredible. And when I look at my career history, whether it is in employment and now in self-employment, it has all been a story of excellence because of focusing on that. And that going to that extra mile drives you to higher levels of excellence, passion, and energy. And people see it, and people come looking for it.
Wow.
The world come looking for you. The world comes searching for you.
Awesome. One more last thing. What is one principle that you would want to, impart to the next generation of leaders, the ones that you've just spoken to? One principle that you'd want them to have, like bad. For this one, you highly recommend one principle.
Young leaders lead authentically. For 90% of my leadership life, I don't think I understood what it means to lead authentically. Leading authentically means showing up who you truly are. You don't have to be somebody else. Allowing yourself, people to see you at your worst, allowing people to see you and experience you in your weakness. Don't try to be a super machine, a superwoman. You are just as vulnerable as the person next door. And showing up and people seeing you lead in your humanness with your imperfections, leading through failure and coming out, leading through adversity and coming out successfully. They are more inspired than that leader that they cannot be able to read. Even the customers, when you speak to them and meet them in the marketplace or in trade, they'll be more inspired because they can feel the authenticity. And it's okay to be who you are. I was looking at you when you're introducing yourself and inviting me to the podcast, whilst all the other speakers were here. And I noticed your jacket. I noticed your hair.
Awesome.
And I said, this is Jolly Cherry. Just like I know when people see this hair, when people see Nancy in jeans a lot, when they see me in whatever state I am, that is Nancy in her true element. And they can tell when Nancy is removed from her element. I am today, I want to be happy. I want to be joyful. I want people to be happy at the workplace. And I talk about that in every forum I go to, in my meetings, with my clients, with my teams. If people are not happy, I am not happy because I will not be happy. So what you should see our online meetings, there are emojis of love hearts, people laughing, and someone said this is comedy central. And I said, yeah, I want to be a place where we have comedy and have fun and laugh every day whilst building the most beautiful, the most functional, the most useful and elegant products in the world.
Amazing, amazing. I do want to continue, but I want to respect your time. I know you told me you are here just for a short time, but I want to thank you for the short time that you've been here. You've really, given out something that I know is going to impact young people who are going to listen even after this. Yeah, so thank you very much, Nancy. I really appreciate that you honored our call to come for this conference. And I already started hearing the impact you've had even on the audience, and they're really happy that you came.
Thank you. Choose to be a good person. Choose to do good in everything. And goodness and mercy from God will follow you. And you will win in this marketplace that He created for us. So let's go out and showcase His magnificence happily and joyfully. And let's do good always.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.